First things first, I wanted to apologize for not vlogging the last few horse shows I did. I recently did 3 horse shows in the past few weeks. The first one I did was a local one-day dressage show. It was just like intro A and B and a walk trot class that we did. The goal of the shows that I'm doing right now is just to get him like exposure. So I'm not really concerned with points or anything, but he did pretty well at that show. We ended up winning all of our classes, which I was very impressed with. Didn't need to happen, but it happened, so I thought that was cool. Another show we went to the day after was a local hunter jumper show. We showed just walk trot ground poles with like all the kids. Which this show, it was like an unrestricted walk trot ground poles. Normally they divide it up by like age groups, but this day, like since it was Sunday, they just combined all the divisions together. That show was okay. I have some clips from both shows and you'll obviously see day 1 versus day 2. The second day, the hunter jumper show was a little bit rough. I think it was because we didn't have a stall. It was his first time showing out of the trailer, his first time seeing standards with like fillers or anything. And I think it was like the first time I'd really like trotted him over a bunch of ground poles like in a line or like a diagonal line. I had only really just set down like a couple poles without standards in the arena, and that's kind of what I practiced on. Because we have jump standards, but I was really lazy and didn't feel like getting them out to practice with. So that's kind of my fault, but I have some clips and you'll see like the difference between day 1 versus day 2. And they were totally separate shows, like they weren't the same thing or anything in different venues. So it was just mostly exposure for him. And I was really impressed at how he handled everything considering. So yeah. And then the last show I did was this past weekend. I did another dressage show at the same venue. They do like a dressage show like once a month. So we took him there and we just did the same classes essentially. We just did intro A and B and we did walk trot, equitation. It was a different judge this time. We actually did pretty well. We're still working on a few things like bending and shaping and all that, and that's kind of what she was wanting from me when I got my scores back. But obviously that stuff doesn't happen overnight, and none of this training we're doing with my horse is overnight training. We are taking our time. It is slow as anything. It's just like, there's no frills, it's literally like slow. There's nothing crazy about it that we're doing, and I'm not in a hurry to do anything, so yeah. But we wind up getting second in both of our intro A and B classes, and in the equitation I winded up getting first, because obviously that's judged on me and not the horse. So she liked how I rode. I think she's just wanting me to work on shaping him in like the classes, like the tests themselves, which we are working on, but it is a work in progress. So yeah. But below now I'm going to insert a few clips of some of our rounds from the past few horse shows. I'm hoping to do voiceovers on them, but if not, I'll just kind of like do like a little description of each class and what it is. So yeah, enjoy these. All right, so here is our intro A test. So we are trotting down to A, which is the center line. In the dressage shows, you only have a minute from when they ring the bell to get in the arena, or else you are disqualified. So we are trotting down the center line here. He was kind of getting a little fast, so I had to kind of slow him down to get the walk transition here at X, but he was able to do that. So we started walking on a little bit here. He started getting a little lazy in the walk here. It was just trying to keep him going. He was kind of swishing some flies. I think that's why he was getting a little lazy here. And then we make our right turn, and then we go to M here, and then at M we start to pick up a trot. I've been really trying to work on slowing him down and also trying to bend him a little bit better. And it's just kind of like a work in progress. But as you can see here, we are going to be doing our first 20-meter circle, which is at A, which is to circle 20 meters at A. I've been really trying to work out my 20-meter circles at home because the first horse show I went to with him, he was awful. It was my fault mostly because I wasn't giving them correct directions on steering. So our circles looked more like ovals, and the judge was like, you need to work on your circles. So here at K, X, and M, we are changing rein to go to the other side. And he always does a really good job of changing directions. I've been really working on that with him. And then at C, we are going to be doing another 20-meter circle here. I was really trying to get him to bend to the inside more. Since we are going to the left now, it's a lot harder for him to bend to the left. He just gets really strong and he tries to hang on my inside rein too much. So I've been really working with my trainer to get him more in the outside rein. But it takes a lot of work. And then from C to H, we do a medium walk. And he was doing that okay. And then from H to F, we have a free walk here. And he did that pretty well as well. So yeah. So this was our round for the Hunter Jumper Schooling Show. This is just the walk, trot, poles division. So I go ahead and I pick up a Trot here. He is super fresh at this show, by the way. Like, he is super agitated, like, not wanting it. He was really speeding. I really was just kind of all over the place because I was really just trying to focus on getting him to slow down because he was such a freight train, just not listening to me, like, kind of ignoring my cues a little bit during the first parts of the rounds. So that's why if I look awful, it's because I'm really trying to focus on slowing him down. So the first jump, I guess if you want to call it, was this like diagonal purple heart line. I guess it's more like pink. And he did that good. It was just mostly trying to get him to slow down, especially after the lines. That was very hard. And as you can see here, he's kind of listening to me a little bit better now. Really just trying to work on pushing him into the corners and getting him to listen to me a little bit better. But this was his first time out to a horse show like this, so just getting used to everything. Next we're going to be doing this like outside line, and as you can see, he likes to speed up in the middle of the lines, which is bad, but you know, we're still working on it. Still very green. As you can see, he's like being a speed demon through here. And then the last part of the course here was this other like outside line, so I was just preparing him to like slow down. I probably didn't need to do like a jumping position, but you know, whatever. And that's it. So just kind of working on like slowing him down and just trying to kind of stay on, I guess. And then we're just gonna come around and do like our courtesy circle and slow down a little bit. I probably could have done a lot better, but I was really just trying to get around at that point. I was like, you know, we need to take this home and work on some things and learn from it. So yeah, but overall I was kind of impressed with him. Like, he was a lot better, but you know, we're still working out the kinks. So yeah. Okay, so here is our second round of the poles class on Sunday. So the first jump is all the way down here again, so I'm really trying to slow him down. Like, he was really like being a freight train again, just not wanting to listen at all. It was very hard to slow him down when we first got in the ring. But you know what, it's his first time out, so it's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. So this first jump here was a single like purple and pink jump again, just trying to get him deep in the corner, trying to listen a little bit better. He felt a little bit better this round than he did the first round, so that was good. Then we did this diagonal line again on the outside, not diagonal line, just a line. He kind of tripped there because I was trying to slow him down, and then obviously he kind of tripped a little, but it's okay. And I wasn't really expecting much out of him at this show, so it is what it is. And then this last line was this line coming home on the outside, and he did that pretty good. And then just kind of focused on trying to get him deep in the corner. I feel like I could have probably rode better, but I was kind of a little nervous because there was some people here that I'd kind of known growing up showing, and I don't know, I just kind of like lost it a little bit. But I think next time I'm definitely going to try and ride a lot better. Now I know what he's going to be doing, and the next time we do one of these shows, he will have a stall, so hopefully he will be a lot calmer then. But like I said, I do want to film more vlogs in the future for you guys. The next coming weeks, hopefully, if I get my act together, there should be a couple vlogs coming your way. The end of the month, I am going to be going back to the same local hunter jumper schooling show, and just doing ground poles again. And then since we're going Saturday this time and we're going to have a stall and everything, we're also going to do the hunter breeding division on Saturday. It's just basically like an in-hand like showmanship, and you do like a confirmation class. And I signed him up to do the 4 to 6 year old breeding division because he's 5, so he classifies as a 4 to 6. So that's what we're doing. And then I think they do like an overall, like for out of all of the different levels. So I think they do like a yearling and like a 2 to 3 year old class, and then they do like a 4 to 6. And then I think out of all of those divisions, they do like an overall like grand champion or reserve champion. So we'll see how he does in that. And then my plan was to do the 9 and over walk, trot, ground poles in that class on Saturday. And then Sunday, they are going to do the unrestricted walk, trot poles. I like this horse show. It was nice. It was like my first time going there. I just wish they had like a green horse class, so like a green horse poles and stuff like that. They do have a thoroughbred cross rails at this horse show, but obviously we are nowhere near ready to do cross rails. Like we can barely do ground poles right now. So I am in no rush to do cross rails with him. I know the cross rails are like super small at the shows, but I do not want to overface him. And secondly, I don't want to fall off or get hurt or do anything. So we are taking our time. If we get to cross rails next year, that'd be nice. I'm not in a hurry to do it. Obviously, he's eligible for a couple years in the ground poles division. It would be nice to show against people my age. Obviously, in these poles classes, it's mostly little kids. There is a local show. Besides this show, they do like an 18 and over cross rails and ground poles class. And I'm hoping to do that show next month. So in October, they're going to be hosting that. So I would like to go to that show. And they also have a green horse poles class, and we were going to do both like the age division poles and then the green horse class. And that class gets pretty competitive at this horse show, which I like. And there's typically adults in that class, and there's professionals, and I really like that. So hoping to do that. My schedule next month for shows is a little jam-packed. It's kind of over the top, but I'll explain kind of like my reasoning why I'm doing all of these. So mostly the reason why I'm kind of doing a little bit more shows next month is in November and December, I'm kind of like taking those months off from showing. I have like one show planned in November, and it's just going back to the dressage venue again and doing like the intro A and B class and then the walk, trot, flat. And then December, we have a lot of trips planned, my boyfriend and I, so we just decided to not do any horse shows that month. So I'm trying to kind of cram them all into October as I can. So yeah, we'll see. But then the other show I was contemplating about doing is a schooling show up in Columbus. It's called like NEST, but it's at the Brave Horse facility. If you guys are familiar with that, let me know. I've never shown there before, like at the venue itself or anything like that. So that's kind of why I was like, it's their last show of the season. I was kind of just debating about going. I'm still trying to figure out if it's worth it or not, just because the costs are kind of high for a schooling show, but you also get a lot of classes, and the venue's a lot nicer than like your traditional schooling show. And I just want to kind of get him exposed to a bunch of different venues before like the season ends. And I figured, this would be a lot nicer of a facility for him to kind of just like end the year out a little bit. And they also offer tip incentive classes, even at like the walk trot level, which I thought was great. So that's why I was like, well, we can still do this. And I'm sure he would like it. But if you don't know what TIP is, it's a thoroughbred incentive program. They do kind of like year-end awards. They do like a finals as well, like once a year. And I'm pretty sure this class and this show would qualify us to do like their finals next year, because the finals this year actually falls on that same weekend. And honestly, I could have qualified him for it, but it's in South Carolina this year. And I was like, I don't really want to haul my horse down to South Carolina just to do like ground poles or like walk trot. Maybe next year, we'll see. I'm not so sure what I want to do with him yet with that, but yeah. Show that I kind of wanted to do was a show down like an hour from my house. It's another like local hunter jumper schooling show. We were just gonna do like the 18 and over ground poles and walk trot green horse ground poles. And then they also offer the hunter breeding division. So I was planning on showing him in that as well and doing like the 4 to 6 year old hunter breeding. And then they also do like an overall like grand champion and reserve champion for all of the breeding classes. I've been to this venue before a few years ago. It's been a while. I know they've changed a lot of like what they've been doing with the illness and all that. They've changed kind of like how they've run the shows a little bit. I know they've kind of like upgraded the venue a little bit, which will be nice to kind of see some of the changes they've made. And they recently, like I said, they've added like this 18 and over ground poles, which is nice because I don't know about you, but as an adult amateur, it is kind of awkward competing against kids. I like when I do the hunter jumper stuff. The dressage shows I've been going to, they split it up by junior and senior, which is really nice. And we actually have a lot of people in my area that compete in the senior divisions, even in the intro levels, which I love because I hate competing against myself. I think it's kind of a waste of time certain times, but right now it's not for me because I have a green horse. But if I didn't have a green horse, I would be like, this is a waste of my money because I'm not competing against anyone. But I am excited about that because I don't know, I just don't like competing against kids. It's just really weird, and I don't know, it's just awkward for me. So one day in the hunter jumper stuff, like at least this show has an adult division, but maybe someday some of the other shows I go to will have an adult division too, because the Brave Horse show does not have an adult division, and then the other venue that I go to, they don't have an adult division. But I think the Brave Horse has like a green horse one. I don't know. I'll have to check the show bill again. And then November, my plan is just to do the one show as just the dressage schooling show that's in my area. I had a choice. I could have gone back down to the schooling show down south from my house, like the one that does the 18 and over division and the green horse poles. But at the end of the day, like if I had a choice between going to a dressage show or a hunter jumper show, I'm sorry, but I would pick the dressage show because I like how the dressage shows are run. They are run so much nicer. It's so much smoother. I don't know if any of you guys have been to a dressage show before. You will know what it's like. You just go there, you have a ride time, you go in and you ride, and then you go home or go about your day. I mean, yeah, you have to wait around for the judge to put their comments in and like pin the class, but like it doesn't take very long. Whereas if you've been to hunter jumper shows like me, it is hurry up and wait. I can't tell you how annoyed I was at the last show I went to when I did the polls on Sunday. I literally, it was just 3 classes. Like it was 2 over fences trips and a flat. There was literally, I think at the end of it, it was like 16, 17 people in the division. And it took 3+ hours for us to get through everyone's trips. And these trainers are hogging the arena. Now, of course, I go by myself, so it's kind of awkward for me at times going to these hunter jumper events by myself because I feel like people look at me or judge me differently because I don't bring a trainer. And honestly, why would I bring a trainer to a show where I'm just doing ground poles? I think it's a little ridiculous. I know I'm kind of getting on a tangent here, but you know, the trainers will hog the ring for their kids and then you have to wait around for them and someone's running behind or they're not there on time. It just gets ridiculous. And what they winded up doing was they split the division in half last minute because one of the trainers decided, I want to go home because I'm done for the day. And so they decided to split the division just for her. I was like, are you crying out loud? Like, it was so ridiculous. And I know, like, I shouldn't be complaining like this, but, you know, when my horse was technically the one that just got done doing all those trips and they were like, oh, well, you're going to have to wait to flat for another 2 hours, I think that's kind of crap. And honestly, I hope it doesn't go like this next month. If it does, I'm going to say something because I am not going to wait around on my horse for another 2 hours. I would have theoretically gotten off of him, but keep in mind we were trailering in, so he was going to either stand tied to the trailer or have me be on his back for like an hour. So that's kind of what we did. It kind of sucked either way. So, you know, and he didn't mind standing on the trailer, like not on the trailer, but outside of the trailer, like tied. He actually was very good, but he kept moving back and forth and wasn't standing still. Like he was a little nervous, I think, because it was his first time. So I was like, I'll just stay on and ride him because I didn't know. I honestly didn't think it was going to take that long. And then we got there around noon. We wound up not leaving until after 5. So it just was a little much just for one division. So hopefully next month it goes a little bit smoother, but at least now, worst case scenario, if something does happen, we do have a stall. So I can put him in the stall and he can get some water and some hay and then go from there. But yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry some of this was kind of like a rant video. And I really hope I will promise to you guys that I will vlog the next show because I will be by myself. I won't be with anyone from my barn, and it's just going to be a lot more fun. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.